Hi there. Today I wanted to demonstrate and explain to you a little bit about our product called Glaze. This is a clear water-based sealer, very versatile product, can be used for a whole range of projects, both flooring or trafficable surfaces, something like a concrete floor, or you can use it on things like walls or even ceilings. The product itself is actually designed to form a very fine film. So if you look at the classes of sealers that are available, one of the comments that we get all of the time from people who are looking at selecting a sealer for their project, they're concerned about how the sealer is actually going to change the look of the surface that it's going over. So if it's a stone, is it going to darken it? Is it going to make it glossy? Those are the sorts of questions that people are concerned about. And if you've invested a lot of money in a product, the last thing you want to do is select a sealer that's actually not going to complement the surface that you're actually going over. So one of the good things about Glaze is while this is a film former, it actually creates a fine film, it doesn't actually give you that high gloss wet look, which is what a lot of sealers do. So here's a project where we've applied Glaze. This is a rammed earth wall. So this is a very porous surface, very crumbly surface and dusty surface. One of the reasons that we've applied Glaze is to help with stain protection, help with surface consolidation, to stop it being crumbly, and also to enhance the colours. So this is a section of wall that we've done with Glaze. We did this about a week ago, and you can see in contrast to this section of wall which is uncoated, there's not a significant difference. So you don't actually have a really high gloss effect over the surface. But what you do have is a little bit of colour development. So the darker colours are going to become richer, but you're not going to create that artificial look, which is what you do get with a lot of the high gloss sealers. Now, if you were to use a silicone or a breathable style sealer on this type of surface, that might give you water repellency. It's not going to give you good stain protection because you've got such a rough and porous surface. It's also not going to consolidate it and stop it being dusty. So you're going to continue to get the surface that actually falls apart over a period of time, whether that's through rubbing or cleaning. But by applying something like Glaze, you're actually consolidating the surface. And one of the good things about this is while this looks natural, you can see how tough that is. I can wipe that down with a damp cloth. Someone spills something on that, it's not going to stain, and it's also not falling apart. But you contrast that with a section of this wall, I'll just show you. You can see how loose and friable this is, very dusty. Pieces of that wall are going to continue to fall apart unless we seal that. Now, with a lot of masonry surfaces, bricks and blocks, obviously you're not going to get it falling apart to this extent. This is because this is a rammed earth wall. It's actually been compressed. And one of the features of it is that it's actually quite rustic. But we've still managed to protect it using Shalex Glaze, and once we coat this side, we can have confidence that for the life of this wall, we're not going to be vacuuming up pieces of dust off the floor. We're not going to be worried about spills and stains because it'll be protected. And the thing about the product is it is low VOC and low odour, and it's very important for a lot of people. They don't want something that's going to knock their heads off in an enclosed area. The Shalex Glaze is a very low odour product, so very safe to use. It's water-based, and it's got a nanoparticle, very small particle size. So even though it's on a water base, because it's a small particle, it penetrates deeper. So often with a lot of sealers, you need a solvent base to draw it deep into the surface. We've managed to do that on a water-based product, which is much safer and friendlier to use. Because it's got a very small particle size and it's a newer technology. So very tough, very hard wearing. You could use that on a floor, a concrete floor for example, but people are using it for all sorts of different projects. They're using it on interior timber, for example, where they don't want a radical change in the look of the timber, but they want to protect that. They want to stop that sort of dustiness. And things like walking down hallways. You don't want, kids to be rubbing their hands or getting splinters or knocking pieces of the wall off. So from a practical point of view, it's great for high wear areas. And as I said before, it doesn't radically change the look. It does help you develop some of the colours. So if we had a very dark coloured masonry, a charcoal or something for that, something of that nature, it's going to really bring out the colour more so. With lighter colours, it's more subtle, but it certainly does give you colour development, and it's also giving you surface and stain protection at the same time.